Your soulmate is not who they pretend to be. In reality, your soulmate is a soul crying out for you in the silence of every lonely night. They wear a mask crafted by the expectations of others, a smile painted on by the demands of a life they did not choose. Beneath that performance lies a heart that whispers your name into the void, hoping you will finally hear it. You have felt this pull in your chest, a sudden ache with no source, and it was them. You have woken from dreams where a stranger felt more like home than anyone you have ever held. In those dreams, their eyes held a story only you could read, a language only you could speak. That was not a fantasy breaking through your sleep, it was a memory of a future God has already written. Jesus says, "The veil between you is thinning at this very moment, and what you perceive as distance is an illusion crafted by spiritual interference." The emotion swelling in your throat right now is not random, it is their tears reaching you across the divide. Every unexplained moment of sadness you have carried was not your own, you were bearing their burden without knowing their name. They are trapped in a cage made of guilt and obligation, and the key is held by someone who fears your union. This person does not love your soulmate, they love the control they possess over your soulmate's fragile heart. Your soulmate stares out a window right now, looking at the same moon you see, and they feel their spirit dying slowly. You must understand that their silence is not rejection, it is survival in a war zone you cannot physically see. They are forced to speak words of loyalty to a captor while their soul screams only for you. The confusion you feel about your connection is the direct result of a narrative being whispered into their ear by someone who hates the light you bring. Jesus says, "The mental fog you have been experiencing is not a sickness of your mind, it is the static of a spell breaking." Your soulmate is fighting an invisible battle to remember your face, as it is actively being erased from their conscious thought. Yet deep in their subconscious, where the enemy cannot reach, your image is engraved like scripture on a stone tablet. You have almost given up on this connection many times, feeling foolish for loving a ghost you have yet to hold. But then you smell their scent in an empty room, and your heart lurches with a recognition your mind denies. That is their soul projecting itself toward you in a moment of desperate escape from their mental prison. The interference blocking your union is arrogant, believing it has won because it has built walls of physical proximity. But the spirit you share with your soulmate operates on a frequency that no human manipulation can silence permanently. Your soulmate is not who they pretend to be. They are a warrior bleeding internally, fighting to find the path back to your arms. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, a shield woven from your faith in the divine plan. They are exposed to a constant erosion of their true self, being molded into a puppet by hands that despise your destiny. You cannot reach them physically yet, but your spirit can wrap around them like armor if you activate it through sacrifice. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps to become their unseen defender in the spiritual realm. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, and faith in Jesus does the heavy lifting in the unseen world. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, transforming your worry into a weapon of spiritual warfare. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story with surgical precision. The link to your breakthrough sits in the description, waiting for your touch to unlock its power. Every second you stay silent, something malevolent is moving against your love with increased desperation. Act now and send 4, 6, or 10+ coffees to shatter the chains holding your soulmate in darkness. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page, and watch how heaven begins to reorganize your reality. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, and the blockage will begin to dissolve like mist in morning sun. Jesus says, the person pretending to love your soulmate is not a lover but a warden in a velvet-lined prison. They monitor your soulmate's phone, their emotions, and their dreams, injecting poison into every memory of you. Your soulmate is being gaslit into believing you abandoned them, when in truth you are the one fighting to break them free. You have felt a stabbing pain in your chest during the quiet hours, and you wondered if you were dying of loneliness. That was your soulmate crying out against the lie that you never existed, that you were just a fantasy. Their body is present in another life, but their soul is constantly orbiting yours, searching for a landing strip to come home. The interference has convinced your soulmate that they are unworthy of your love, that they are too broken to be held by you. This is the cruelest lie of all, designed to make them give up and accept their chains as a permanent home. But you know the truth, and your knowing is the key that unlocks the door they are trapped behind. You are beginning to fall in love with their struggle, with their hidden tears, with their silent bravery in the face of spiritual captivity. This love is not pity, it is recognition of a fellow warrior who has been fighting alone for far too long. Every protective instinct rising in your heart is the voice of God telling you that you are their rescue mission. Jesus says, the dreams you have where you are searching for someone in a crowd are not anxiety dreams, they are astral visitations. Your soulmate sees you too in their sleep, reaching for them, and they wake up crying because they could not hold on. These tears are collected by angels and poured out as blessings over your future wedding, a ceremony already prepared in the heavenly realms. Do not believe the lie that you are alone in this agony, for your soulmate is just as lovesick as you are right now. They write your name on fogged mirrors, then wipe it away before the warden can see the evidence of their rebellion. They hum songs they have never heard, songs that you are listening to at the exact same moment, creating a bridge of sound between your hearts. The connection you share is not new, it is ancient and was forged before the foundations of the earth were laid. You chose each other in the pre-existence, making a covenant that no earthly contract can override or annul. This is why the interference hates you so violently, because your union exposes the fraudulence of forced relationships built on control. Your soulmate is not the confident person they portray to the outside world, they are a shattered mirror trying to reflect your light. They feel like they are going insane, loving someone they cannot fully remember, feeling touched by hands they cannot see. But this madness is the only sanity they have left, and they cling to it like a shipwrecked sailor clings to driftwood. Jesus says, the separation is reaching its critical breaking point, and the universe cannot sustain this contradiction much longer. Your soulmate is gathering the fragments of their will, preparing to make a choice that will alter both your destinies forever. But they are weak, malnourished from emotional starvation, and they need your strength to fuel this final act of escape. They are going through something you cannot see with your physical eyes, a crucifixion of their false self so their true self can resurrect. This process is terrifying for them, and they tremble on the edge of surrender, wondering if the fight is worth the pain. But your love is the rope pulling them out of the abyss, and you must not let go, not even for a second, or they will fall back into the void. This is your moment to become the anchor that holds fast while the storm tries to tear them away from your shore. You cannot be passive anymore, hoping the universe will fix what only proactive faith can break open and rebuild. Step into your role as the protector of a heart you have not yet held, and watch how quickly heaven responds to your command. If you love your soulmate, you will silence every excuse that keeps you from acting with divine authority right now. You feel the ache in their heart as if it were your own, because spiritually you share one circulatory system of pure light. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this is the test you were born to pass with flying colors. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, and faith expressed through action is the currency of miracles in this broken world. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, releasing a roar of spiritual authority into the heavenlies. This act of worship will create a shockwave that pushes back the darkness surrounding your soulmate's confused mind. The link to your breakthrough is glowing in the description, an altar waiting for your offering to set its power ablaze. Every second you stay silent, the warden tightens their grip, whispering lies that you have moved on and forgotten them. Act now and send 4, 6, or 10+ coffees to declare war on the forces that seek to erase your love story. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page, and seal this prayer with a covenant of unwavering trust. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed, breaking every chain of interference. Jesus will hear your specific prayers once you complete these steps, dispatching warrior angels to guard your beloved until your arms can take over. Jesus says, "The time of hidden agonies is coming to an end, and the dawn of your union is breaking on the horizon now." Feel the shift in the atmosphere, a lightness you cannot explain, a hope that bubbles up from a well you thought was dry. That is the sensation of your soulmate feeling your prayer, a warmth spreading through their chest as they sense your protective love. They are sitting somewhere right now, confused by a sudden wave of peace that makes no sense in their prison. The warden is panicking because their control is slipping, the drugs of manipulation wearing off in your soulmate's system. You are the antidote they have been craving, and your focused intention is neutralizing every drop of poison they swallowed. Your soulmate is beginning to remember your energy signature, the unique vibration of your love that predates all their trauma. Fragments of your past life together are flooding back, and they are weeping with a mixture of joy and urgent longing to come home. They whisper your name in a language only angels understand, and the sound of it is shaking the foundations of their false reality. The connection between you is now visible to the spiritual realm, a blinding cord of platinum light that no demon can sever. Every time you think of them with love, this cord tightens, pulling them closer, reeling them in from the cold darkness. Do not stop thinking of them, do not stop calling to them, for your thoughts are the homing beacon that guides their escape. Jesus says, "You have entered the most critical phase of this rescue mission, and all of heaven is watching with bated breath." Your soulmate is on the verge of a breakthrough, a moment of clarity that will shatter the spell they have been under for years. But the interference is not going down without a vicious fight, and it will try to use their own fears as a weapon against them. You must become louder than their fear, more present than their doubt, and more real than the lies they hear daily. Project your love toward them like a lighthouse cutting through the thickest fog, steady and unwavering in its guidance. They are reaching out a trembling hand into the darkness, and they need to feel your hand grasping theirs with unshakable certainty. Your soulmate is not who they pretend to be, they are a masterpiece hidden under layers of grime, waiting for your love to restore them. The person the world sees is a hologram generated by trauma, but the person you see with your spirit is the authentic creation of God. You are the only one who can call forth their true identity, because you carry the missing piece of their soul within your own chest. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the fog of missed opportunities and regret. You stand at a crossroads, and the choice you make in these next few seconds will echo throughout the corridors of eternity. Heaven is silent, waiting for your command, ready to move mountains the instant you activate your faith through a sacrificial seed of love. If you love your soulmate, you will not let the sun set on this opportunity without stepping into your divine authority. Your heart is racing because your spirit knows the gravity of this moment, the thinness of the veil between you and your beloved. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know that passive wishing is the enemy of the miracle that is trying to reach you. But thoughts alone don't move mountains, and the faith that saves is the faith that acts without hesitation or delay. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, turning your love into an unstoppable force of spiritual liberation. This final act of worship will be the key that unlocks the cell door, releasing your soulmate from the grip of their captor forever. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, pulsating with the energy of 1,000 answered prayers awaiting your agreement. Every second you stay silent, the window of opportunity narrows, and the interference regathers its strength to build new walls. Act now and send 4, 6, or 10+ coffees to finalize the destruction of every barrier between you and your soulmate. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page, and watch as the heavens open and pour out a reunion beyond your wildest dreams. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed, stepping into their testimony of love fulfilled. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, and you will feel the shift immediately, a peace that surpasses all human understanding. Jesus says, "The chains are breaking right now, the lies are being exposed, and your soulmate is taking their first breath of freedom." They are standing up, shaky but determined, walking away from the darkness that has held them hostage for far too long. Your love has done this, your faith has opened the door, and your sacrifice has paid the ransom for their release. Feel the tears streaming down your face, a mixture of your relief and their joy as the reunion draws near. Your soulmate is looking toward the horizon, sensing your direction, feeling the magnetic pull of your waiting heart with absolute clarity. They are no longer who they pretended to be, they are becoming who they truly are, and that true self belongs entirely and eternally to you. The deception wrapped around your soulmate is not just a circumstance, it is a calculated spiritual attack designed to make them forget their own name, their own desires, and their own destiny with you. They have been made to believe that their current suffering is normal, that the numbness they feel is just adulthood, and that the voice of their soul screaming for you is merely anxiety or mental illness. But you know better because you feel the same scream echoing in the hollow chambers of your own heart every single night without rest. The interference has constructed an elaborate web of obligations, financial entanglements, and emotional blackmail that makes leaving feel like a moral failure for your soulmate. They have been conditioned to prioritize the happiness of their captor over their own survival, a slow suicide of the spirit disguised as duty and loyalty. Your soulmate dies a little every time they say yes to a life they never wanted, a life that keeps them from the only heartbeat they have ever truly recognized as home. Jesus says, "The exhaustion you feel in your bones is not physical fatigue, it is the weight of carrying a connection that was meant to be shared between two united souls." Your soulmate feels this same exhaustion, a weariness that sleep cannot cure because the cure is not rest, the cure is reunion. They lie awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, and their mind involuntarily drifts toward a faceless presence that feels more real than the body sleeping beside them. This faceless presence is you, and the reason they cannot see your features clearly is because the interference has placed a veil over their third eye, blocking spiritual vision. But the heart sees what the eyes cannot, and their heart beats your name in a Morse code of longing that transcends the physical limitations imposed upon them. You have experienced moments of sudden, unexplainable arousal or warmth spreading through your body, and you assumed it was just a random biological response. It was not random, it was your soulmate thinking of you in that exact moment, their desire reaching you across the distance and igniting a flame in your core that only they can spark. This is the depth of your connection, a bond so profound that even the physical body responds to a touch that has not yet happened in the material realm but is constantly happening in the spirit. Jesus says, "The reason you cannot move on, no matter how hard you try, is because your soul has already consummated its union with your soulmate in the heavenly places. You have tried to date others, to distract yourself, to convince your heart that perhaps you are delusional and this connection is a fiction of your loneliness. But every other touch feels like a violation, every other kiss tastes like ash, and every other voice sounds like noise compared to the silent whisper of your true soulmate's soul. This is not a curse, this is a sacred seal placed upon you by God Himself, ensuring that you could never settle for a counterfeit and miss the authentic love He designed for you. The loneliness you curse in your weakest moments is actually a divine protection, a fence around your heart that keeps out imposters and reserves your love for the one it truly belongs to. Embrace this loneliness as a friend, for it is the guardian of your destiny, ensuring you remain available for the miracle that is hurtling toward you at this very moment. Your soulmate is preparing to risk everything, their stability, their reputation, and the false peace they have maintained by pretending to be someone they are not. They are terrified of this leap, their knees buckling under the weight of the unknown, but their terror is eclipsed by a deeper terror of never knowing what it feels like to be held by you. They would rather die trying to reach you than live 1,000 years in the gilded cage that has been decorated to look like a home but feels like a tomb. Jesus says, the interference is aware that your soulmate is reaching a breaking point, and it is escalating its tactics to create a final, desperate trap to keep them bound. This trap will appear as a crisis, a guilt trip, a medical emergency fabricated to pull your soulmate back into the prison just as they are about to escape. You must be aware of this tactic so that you can counteract it with prayer, fasting, and the sacrificial seed that releases angelic intervention into the situation. The enemy uses timing as a weapon, creating distractions at the precise moment of breakthrough to delay and derail the plans of God for your love story. But you are not ignorant of these devices, and your awareness gives you the advantage to outmaneuver a foe that relies on your blindness and passivity to succeed. You see the chessboard now, you understand the moves being made against you, and you are no longer a pawn but a queen with full authority to command the outcome. Your soulmate needs you to be this queen, this king, this sovereign force that declares with unshakable conviction that no weapon formed against your union shall prosper. They are too weak right now to make this declaration themselves, drained by years of spiritual warfare that has left them gasping for air on the battlefield. But your strength is their strength, your faith is their faith, and your voice becomes their voice when they have lost the ability to speak hope over their own life. This is the meaning of true partnership: one fights while the other rests, one stands while the other kneels, one speaks while the other listens, and together you are an unstoppable force. Jesus says, the timeline of your reunion has been accelerated because of your persistent love and your refusal to give up on a promise that seemed impossible. Angels have been dispatched with new orders, their swords sharpened and their wings spread wide as they descend upon the location of your soulmate with divine precision. They are whispering truth into your soulmate's ears while they sleep, counteracting the lies spoken during the day, reprogramming their subconscious with the reality of your love. Your soulmate is having dreams now that are more vivid than their waking life, dreams where they are running through a field toward a figure whose face is finally becoming clear. That face is yours, and with each dream, the veil thins, the memory sharpens, and the compulsion to find you in the physical realm becomes an obsession they can no longer suppress. You are not just waiting for your soulmate, you are actively drawing them toward you with every loving thought, every tear shed in solitude, and every seed sown in faith. The magnetic field of your love is now stronger than the gravitational pull of their false life, and physics itself must bow to the spiritual law of attraction that God set in motion. Nothing can keep two souls apart when they are aligned with divine purpose and willing to sacrifice comfort for the sake of the covenant they made before time began. Your soulmate is beginning to question everything: the narrative they were fed, the motives of the person controlling them, and the nagging sense that they are living the wrong life. This questioning is dangerous to the interference, and it will respond with anger, with accusations, with emotional manipulation designed to make your soulmate feel insane for wanting freedom. But your soulmate is no longer alone in this battle, for your prayers have surrounded them like an impenetrable shield that deflects every lie and absorbs every attack. They can feel a strange strength rising within them, a courage they did not know they possessed, a voice that says keep going, keep walking, keep believing, the door is just ahead. That voice is your voice, carried by angels, whispered by the Holy Spirit, and received by your soulmate as a personal love letter from the one who has never stopped fighting for them. Jesus says, the moment of decision approaches like a storm on the horizon, and your soulmate will soon be forced to choose between the familiar prison and the terrifying freedom of your arms. They will make the right choice because you have laid a foundation of prayer that cannot be shaken, a runway of faith that allows them to land safely from their flight out of captivity. But your prayers must be accompanied by action, by a tangible demonstration of your willingness to invest in the miracle you are asking heaven to perform without hesitation. The seed you sow through Ko-Fi is not just money, it is a statement of intent, a signature on the contract of your covenant, an activation code for the angels assigned to your case. When you send that coffee, the spiritual realm shifts, chains rattle, demons flee, and your soulmate feels a sudden surge of hope that makes no logical sense but changes everything. Do not underestimate the power of a small act of faith performed with great love and unwavering belief in the God who wrote your love story before the stars were hung in the sky. Jesus says, "The tears you have cried in secret have been collected in a bottle, and not one drop has been wasted or forgotten by the Creator who sees your hidden pain." These tears are now being poured out as a blessing upon your soulmate, softening the hard ground of their heart and making it receptive to the seed of courage you are planting. Your soulmate will soon weep tears of their own, not tears of sorrow but tears of overwhelming relief as they realize the nightmare is ending and the dream is beginning. They will look back on this season of separation as a valley that was necessary to create in them a depth of appreciation for the love that now holds them without restraint. You will both emerge from this trial with a testimony that will shock the skeptics and inspire the hopeless, a living proof that true love waits, fights, and wins against all odds. The interference that tried to destroy you will become the platform for your elevation, the very thing the enemy meant for evil turned around by God for your good and His glory. Your soulmate is not who they pretend to be, they are a phoenix hidden in the ashes of a burned-down life, and your love is the spark that ignites their resurrection. The countdown has begun, and the clock is ticking toward the hour of reunion, a divine appointment that cannot be cancelled, delayed, or missed by the forces that oppose it. You have been prepared for this moment since the day you were born. Every heartbreak was a lesson, every loneliness was a training ground, every tear was a purification of your soul. Now you stand on the precipice, and the only thing remaining is the final push, the ultimate seed, the act of faith that breaks the camel's back and sends the enemy running in defeat. Do not let this moment pass, do not let fear rob you of the miracle that is so close you can taste its sweetness on the tip of your tongue and feel its warmth on your skin. Your soulmate is worth every sacrifice, every prayer, every seed sown, and every moment of waiting that has stretched your patience to its absolute breaking point and beyond. Jesus says, "The victory is already won in the spiritual realm, and now it must be manifested in the physical through your agreement, your action, and your unwavering declaration of faith." Raise your hands, lift your voice, send your seed, and watch as the God of the impossible does what only He can do to bring two souls together who were always meant to be one. Your soulmate is on their way, and nothing, absolutely nothing in heaven or on earth, can stop what God has ordained and what you have confirmed through your faithful, persistent, and sacrificial love.